Oh my god, I'm like a little nervous because I know that I've been gone, y'all. Hi. Hey y'all, this is your favorite baby faces aunt Monty coming back at you with another video. Hey, I know it's been some time. I just be dipping off thinking I'm like Corey Kenshin and y'all just gonna keep watching my junk and I just keep getting subscribers. I ain't there yet. But before we start with our video, I just want to give a quick explanation. So here's the timestamp of where that video actually starts. If you don't care about my feelings and my thoughts, you're really going to click it too. But I respect it. Go ahead and head over. I'll see you there. I want to first thank you guys so much for my new subscribers. Hi, y'all. Sometimes I get the notifications of those that came up and subscribed, and my subscriber count is going up. My views went up even with this hiatus, which I'm going to explain, but I want to thank you guys so much. I want to get to 200 before DreamCon because I am going to that convention, and I'm so excited that you guys are rocking with your girl. I appreciate it. And now I would like to apologize for being gone. I've been gone for 3 weeks. Just to explain, I did say that I was going to do a scary game, right? You know, I had things set in stone, right? However, my Wi-Fi was acting up. My consoles and my Wi-Fi were just not acting right. And so that pushed it back. However, not only did it push it back, it discouraged me. It discouraged me because I don't like to let you guys down as a content creator. I feel like I would be such a, a failure. And I'm hard on myself. As all content creators we are, and sometimes we really just have to it's okay. We're still human. Not only that, there's a new thing that is happening in my life that is also distracting me as well. So, on top of that, it's another thing. But I'm not gonna get into that right now. You see me cheesing? I did have filmed a scary game and found the scary game, which is gonna turn into a series. However, I was not proud of how it turned out. I was very much like, boo. I scrapped it. It's on the shelf as far as drafts. I may just refilm it. But however, also in that same gameplay, it was supposed to be a scary game. There was no jump scares. There was nothing. And it was more of a storyline type game, not like an indie horror game. And I was very much not proud of it. So I talked to people that, that really truly support me, and they were okay with me, scrapping it for right now. And then they said, just put out quality content. So if you don't feel proud of it, your viewers are not going to be proud of it. They're going to tell you're not. They can tell you're not proud of it and you didn't put your all into it. So I scrapped it, and I haven't been back since, because my whole mindset was, I said that I was going to do a scary game. I'm going to do a scary game. And I've been having a hard time finding a good one. Not only that, new thing in my life as well, which isn't really bad, but new things, you gotta rebalance when new things are here. But I was very much discouraged for a while, and I'm being very, oh god, my nose itches, hold on. I was very much discouraged for a while. So I'm here being open and transparent because I feel like we have that relationship, y'all. So, I appreciate y'all for still rocking with me so very much. Like, I saw my views going up on my last video. I saw my views going up on all my other videos, and my subscriber count, comments, and everything. And I am just truly, truly so humbled, inspired, and still motivated even when I was down and out for a minute. I want to thank you so much, y'all, for just riding with your girl. When I hit 200, we're going to have a name for this community that I'm creating. And I hope y'all really like it. I hope y'all rock with it, because I feel like that's the type of vibe and energy that I'm trying to go off of. A special shout out to Brett and Nate for always keeping me on my toes and giving me tough love when I need it. My siblings as well for always keeping me grounded and focused. And random wild card, my Uncle Gene. I love you. I know you're watching. The date yesterday, which is today's Thursday, so Wednesday, he just casually just was like, I haven't seen any of your videos in a while. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be posting one Friday. And I want to give a special shout out to my uncle just for, when someone like that, randomly just casually mentions it, it's time for you to get back on up and back on the horse and saddle it up. You know what I mean? So special shout out to those people. And there's a few others. Those are the ones that just come to mind. So I shout out to you. I apologize if you didn't get the shout out. Still love you. now that I've got all my feelings and stuff out the way, hey, I'm gonna be back. I'm excited for today's video. I hope you are too. It's not a scary game. However, it is another cartoon conspiracy because we like these. Don't worry though. There will be a scary game and it will be indie, and I'm doing some research and I'll find it, and I promise I will get y'all. It will be here, okay? It will be here. But today's cartoon conspiracy theory. Today's cartoon's conspiracy theory is Rugrats. We already know a few. We already know, but it's still cool to react. There's probably still some other little things and stuff that we missed, but however, I'm excited about this one. This one is definitely probably going to be a little bit darker because all the conspiracy theories I've heard about this Rugrats are like really dark. So like, are y'all ready to be depressed? Yeah. But before we start, I need you to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn that bell so you know when I post, because I miss you guys. Thank you for rocking with your girl. Thank you for the new subs and the new views. What's good with you? What's good? Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this video. Oh my god, it still feels so good to be back. I thought I was gonna cry on here, like. Alright, y'all, here we go. We have I cannot speak today. Dark theories about Rugrats that will ruin your childhood. Are you ready to get ruined today? We're choosing violence today. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started on the video.
It's undeniable that Rugrats was one of those cartoons that really represented the 90s. Heck, even now, for many of us, the memories of this cartoon live on, and we consider it one of the greatest Nickelodeon shows ever made.
This is so true, because when you do think of the 90s, especially like Nickelodeon 90s, you do think of Rugrats. One of the first...
Jesus, get off me!
One of the first things you think of is the Rugrats. You think of... Not only that, you think of like Kenan and Kel, all that, Amanda Bynes, The Amanda Show, and like a few others that come to mind, Roscoe's Modern Life. When you think of cartoons from Nickelodeon, Rugrats is probably top 3, if not the number 1 cartoon people talk about. It just holds something so nostalgic. It's like you can almost smell that cartoon and just, the colors and the animation. Something about this cartoon that just really holds something near and dear to all of our hearts. But yeah.
And because of this, we either forgot or in some cases turned a blind eye to some of the less lighthearted moments and themes. Truthfully, despite the glee and laughter and fun, when you peer a little deeper into the Rugrats universe, at times, it can actually be a dark, lonely, and uninviting place cloaked in a shadow of sadness. Well, maybe that is a bit of an exaggeration, but these theories are.
So, I went to college for early childhood education. And there is so much importance to a child's development that if you don't do right, you think a child doesn't feel the trauma, but they do. And not only that, they carry it, and sometimes I don't even fully understand why they carry some of the trauma that they feel, because it's happened when they were kids. So it's true, sometimes people do say childhood trauma is real, and I know that it's like a coin thing to say, but even beyond diapers and stuff, it's traumatic growing up sometimes. So that's why, like, when you have kids, just try your very, very best to do what you're supposed to do to make sure they don't have a hard life. You're not, as parents, you're not going to do everything right, but to the best of your ability, try to give your child the best life that you can give them. Give them the best. Starting off
pretty dark. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and these are dark theories about Rugrats that change everything.
The lipshits?
Children's personalities reflect the amount of attention they receive from their parents. Ever wondered how the babies developed their personalities? Well, Reddit user UCH1993 shared an interesting theory concerning this, one which doesn't exactly show the parents in the kid's universe in the best light. He argues that each child's personality is directly affected by, and consequently mirrors, how much attention they were given by their parents in their early life.
Hiya, baby!
We'll start off with Angelica, one of the characters who best brings this theory to light. We see that her parents have somewhat of a distant emotional connection to her, especially her mother, who is a bit of a workaholic. Angelica is very demanding, so her parents only respond to her attention-seeking antics by giving her whatever she wants, or by calling her princess.
That is so true. If you ever pay attention to those that grew up with money, celebrities are a very prime example. Childhood stars are a very prime example of what happens when, money is the push factor of affection and love instead of time and, effort and stuff like that. It's really sad to see children, grow up as, for lack of a better term, spoiled brats, because not only that, they view love as materialistic things and finances or whatever. And not only that, that's how they give love. And they think that, with all these problems and emotional and mental, problems, the best way to go about it is to throw money at it. And I feel bad for Angelica, even though she was
Such a douchebag as a freaking character.
It's not her fault. It's not her fault.
Or whatever she wants, or by calling her princess.
Well, you see, Cupcake.
As a direct result, she has become spoiled and has also developed a very controlling personality, all because she is accustomed to getting everything that she wants.
You are a contestant in the Super Special Kids Talent Show.
Then there's
Very
Phil
true.
and Lil. They're obvious cases of what happens when parents are neglectful towards their children. The twins' parents almost never socially interact with their kids. As a result, Phil and Lil learn to depend on themselves from an early age.
That is so, prevalent in the Black community, because you see a lot of kids have to grow up really fast, and that goes from single parent homes and such like that, where it was like they had to raise their siblings, and so that's why their mind and everything is just so like independent. I'm gonna get it how I live, I'm gonna get it anyways, because all their life they just had to get it. And it sucks, because it's true. Like, there's a lot of kids and you wonder why they have trust issues, and they wonder why, not only that, sometimes they have like, very like mature type of personalities, where it's like no matter what, they can handle it. They take on way too much. They tend to also have like a lot of parental issues, mommy daddy issues as well. So when they grow up, so it sucks.
And on themselves from an early age, creating for themselves their own methods of keeping themselves occupied, most of which were not exactly within their best interest.
Maybe
Yeah,
he's
not
stuck in the
safe.
refrigerator and he can't get out.
They play in the mud and eat bugs. Apart
Yep.
from being unhygienic and just downright nasty,
They are also very, very rambunctious. These type of friends are very, 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 very rambunctious. They get into trouble. Like, I've seen it all. Like, I had friends like this growing up. So, it sucks.
the kids also exhibit personality disorders. Or at least that's what this theory suggests. They are quick to assume the erratic behavior of another, something which spells signs of psychological trauma. Hence, Phil
Yep.
and Lil's unstable personality and bad habits are a consequence
Yep.
of the neglect from their parents.
Love your kids, y'all. You got babies, you got kids. You love your kids, man. Love your kids.
I mean, no good parent would let their kids eat bugs, would they?
But now he got to add the special secret flavoring like mommy does.
Chuckie is often the one to be scared in every situation, regardless of the
Yes.
fact that he's older than Tommy, Phil, and Lil. The theory suggests
True.
that Chuckie is developmentally behind.
What's wrong, Chuckie?
This is likely due to the fact that his father, Chaz, babies him too much
Hi, Chaz.
and blows every small problem way out of proportion.
That is so true. These type of kids are, they've gone through something traumatic, and so the parent doesn't allow them to make mistakes. So, along with making sure your child has a great, life, you also have to let them make mistakes, because if you make them scared and shelter them from everything, when they grow up, it's going to be a real culture shock. for sure. And it sucks, because they'll be scared of everything. Everything that is considered good will be scary to them. And that's why when the big problems blow out of proportion, but the small problems you take with a grain of salt, because every problem can't be that gigantic, because then they're going to go through life not being able to take on problems properly. They're going to have trash problem solving skills, social skills, and how to interact with people, and it sucks. So there's got to be a balance.
Additionally, Chuckie could be afraid of everything because he was introduced to trauma at a very young age when his mother passed away.
Sometimes I dream about having a mom.
No matter the reason, Chuckie clearly has developed an irrational fear of much of the world.
Can we talk about when Chuckie didn't have a mom? Like, that joke was so sad. I'm a little emotional because I have cousins that lost their mother, and I'm grateful for my mom, but I can only imagine what it feels like to lose a parent. And I know that my cousins, you know, I love y'all. Shout out to the Wiz kids. I love y'all so much. Shout out to Uncle Gerald. I love y'all. I know that it sucks. And I love my mom. And I know that she brings like such a joy and a light to my life. And there's something about a mother's love that you can't really find nowhere else. So, man, when Chuckie didn't have a mom and you know, he was standing there and he was standing there looking at everybody with their moms. That was a moment in Rugrats history that they touched on, where it, in a sense, is a lot common more than we think. So if you have a mom out there, please hold her and cherish her no matter what. I know moms and parents overall can be tough, but cherish your parents. Please cherish your parents. Okay.
The creators were against parenting books. As we know, throughout the entire series, parents are seen to make constant reference to their parenting Bibles. This book on parenting is written by Lipschitz, a man who is revered and lauded as being instrumental in guiding parents on how to raise their kids, and who also possesses a name that makes me laugh as much as it did when I was a kid.
Look, Charles. Lipschitz quiz column.
In the series, we eventually meet him, and his introduction was rather underwhelming to say the least.
Well, in my third book,
man.
Taming Your Toddler, 1995 from Las Vegas University Press, I explained that the infant should be lifted by his waist, not his armpits.
He didn't embody
See, okay. Like, I know that I studied this stuff, which is very helpful, useful. I feel like I'm very knowledgeable to a certain extent. But however, when it comes out to it, there's no real blueprint to raising your kids. There isn't. You just do your best. You just do your best. I mean, you just do your best. My parents did their best with me. I feel like I turned out great. But at the same time, I've had very rambunctious behaviors and impulses where it was like, yeah, you know, if you do everything by the book, cool. But at the same time, no kid is perfect. No parent is perfect. So you can't, there in no way, shape, or form raise a perfect child. So these books can help you, but at the same time, you don't know who you're raising. So, yeah. If there was a book for a specific kid, there would be, but that's completely impossible. So, by the book, it's not, there's no point, okay, y'all? Do your best.
He didn't embody the persona expected of someone who is so well respected. Actually, he seems to not have a clue about kids whatsoever. When he's seen babies,
And you know what? Can we talk about him being in a robe and stuff around kids like that? Like, these aren't your kids. That's a very icky type of behavior. It's an icky vibe to me. I don't appreciate that, okay? We already know how I feel about the pedos out there, bro. They all should burn. But, this looks weird to me, okay?
he does an awful job. He seems to be a novice rather than an expert. More than likely, the creators probably added this character as a playful jab at the concept of parenting books, and the more new
Hey yo, they was on his back doing some weird stuff. Okay. Y'all can go back and check. But they was on his back doing
the
some
more
weird
new
stuff.
age parenting techniques. It's well known that no book can prepare you to be a parent because no two children are the same. That, and the name Lipschitz, sounds like a word which, when said aloud, reminds us of something that's not exactly positive.
The Lipschitz isn't a box.
True. Lipschitz is full of... He's full of it.
The Lipschitz isn't a mommy, it's a baby.
This theory. The children are all figments of Angelica's imagination.
Now, this is the one that everybody knows, and this one has to be the most depressing theory of them all. And if it gets darker than this, I would be very surprised. But the fact that, yeah, okay, y'all know, we know, but for those that don't know, let's watch this, okay? Watch this.
Angelica's imagination. By now, it's clear that Angelica is a girl who has been spoiled rotten by her parents. In light of this, she's seen to exhibit a number of negative behavioral traits, including being controlling and excessively demanding. But what's to say that she's not suffering from a psychological impairments as well?
Angelica the boss!
Based on a theory offered by Reddit user WrestleChick, the babies seen are all a byproduct of Angelica's imagination.
So
Apparently,
sad.
Angelica's mind conjured up these kids either as a means to have company from being neglected by her parents, essentially a side effect from the psychological trauma that comes from neglect, causing unique psychotic experiences, namely inventing babies which really don't exist. And if you really want to get dark, the Reddit thread goes on to suggest the possibility that the babies are all dead, and that in an effort to keep their memories alive, Angelica's mind is causing her to believe that they are in fact alive. Angelica is aware of these deaths, but feels traumatized. Therefore, her imagination constructs an ideal world in which they're all still alive. Honestly, this one's a little too dark.
Very, very dark. You know? Very, very dark. Like I said, when things traumatic happen to your kids, just because you don't think they don't have the tools or the words to express it, make sure you check in on them, because it's nothing like losing a sibling, you know, at any age. And so when, you know, trauma happens, but we're talking about siblings, losing a sibling. The child sees that a baby is forming in his mother. They see physical baby, and now baby's no longer here. They feel that, okay? They feel that it's gone. And even though they can't express it, probably didn't even cry, something happened, you know? Because, you know, the first time I could really remembering death is when my great-grandmother passed, Grandma Pat. I woke up, my dad was crying, which is probably the first time I ever seen my dad cry that hard, which was traumatic in itself. My dad's this big, strong man. Never seen him cry. So when she died and we went to a funeral, that was the first funeral I ever went to see an open casket was traumatic enough. I see her body. I remember touching her body, thinking she was gonna wake up. And this woman did not wake up, did not move. That was very, very traumatizing, because she's dead, right? I'm not sure what dead means right now. I was young. But I see her body. What do you mean she's not getting up? You know? And my parents did a very good job making sure I was okay. I was very close with Grandma Pat. I really was. And I had questions about heaven or hell because she smoked cigarettes. And so many things that I thought about after she died. And I remember at a young age thinking I will never go to a funeral. That didn't happen that way. I ended up going to a few more. God rest all those souls of, you know, for my family. But at a young age, I said I would never go to a funeral. I was done. Death was scary. And I didn't quite understand it. And then they put her in the ground. So I'm like, she's in the ground and she never to get back up. So check on your kids when trauma happens, you know. It does affect them.
I wish the whole world was like the circus, with all the cookies and candy you can eat.
Angelica was supposed to have a sibling.
There it
Similar
is.
to
This
the
is the
previous
one.
theory, Reddit user Red Wing Runner offers yet another interesting twist surrounding Angelica's life. In the episode Angelica's Worst Nightmare, Angelica is scared that she might be getting a sibling.
I'm having a baby and you're going to have a little brother or sister.
Initially, she was against the idea as she felt that by having a younger sibling, her parents wouldn't pay as much attention to her as she would have liked.
I'm I was thinking that when the new baby comes, my friend might not get the same attention she usually gets.
However,
Tension.
as time dragged on, she began to warm up a little bit to the idea. Then, after she's finally accepted that there will be a new addition to the family, her parents give her the bad news. There actually won't be a baby, at least for now. It's believed that Angelica's mother may have had a miscarriage. After all, we watch the story unfold through the eyes of Angelica.
Yep.
So as a child, there's no way that her parents would relay that information to her at such a young age.
That's true.
That's too bad, Mommy. I was just starting to think it would be nice to have a little
Not
baby
the ad,
around.
bro. All right,
Dill
right here.
Pickles is autistic. We all know that in the Rugrats universe, the babies and characters experience various challenges. However, Reddit user DoubleTrouble227 has offered a theory which puts Dill Pickles, Tommy's younger brother, at the center of a rather sad possibility. Dill might be suffering from autism, and there is overwhelming evidence to support this. Firstly, in the original run of the series, Dill is incapable of communicating with anyone, meaning neither babies nor adults. Viewers would notice that there's something a bit off with him because of this, as while the babies can't communicate with adults, they can at least communicate with each other.
That's true. When I was a kid, I was thinking to myself, I know Dill is like a Dill Pickles. That is so freaking cute. I'm gonna marry a man with last name Pickles. That's not looking that way. Anyways, I noticed too as a kid that he was the only one that couldn't talk. I mean, even when they were newborns, they was talking to each other. I think there was one with a newborn with a man voice, but I can't remember the episode. But yeah, every baby, every kid could talk to each other, and he's the only one that can't. And that is quite an alarming characteristic of Dill's, and not only that, autistic kids in general. They don't always have the best communication skills. They're either on the higher spectrum, which is really, really, really smart, and they have great communication skills. But however, there's some on the lower spectrum where they don't quite have those. So it's tough for them. It takes them a while. So yeah, this is quite a sad theory. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope I'm not making y'all depressed, but I hope y'all being educated a little bit.
This indicates that Dill has some sort of impediment which makes it difficult for him to communicate easily with people. Now, this could simply be because he's a newborn, but if the other babies are capable of communicating, it's possible that this ability is supposed to happen from birth within the show's universe. Then, in All Grown Up, Dill's abnormal behavior
Yes.
continues. He isn't
Yes. Autistic people, children, have very, very, very extreme and different interests. They do. And if you and more times than not, be very patient and kind with them, because they don't always have the social cues. But it's the same. It's okay. It's like this. Be careful who you bully and who you talk to, because you never know what they're going through. I try my best to be very nice and understanding of every person that I interact with. Sometimes people are crazy, but at this very least, you never know who you're interacting with. I've interacted with so many different autistic people, and sometimes you don't even know until they do something. You're like, okay, makes sense on why you are the way you are. And in more cases, I had someone in college who was an autistic. He was in our class, and he was autistic, and he used to tell the professor, if I am talking too much, tell me to just shut up, because I'll go off. He's aware that he is autistic. And one day the teacher was like, hey, you need to shut up, shut your mouth. And everybody in the class was baffled, but he had to, him and the professor had to say, well, no, this is how we operate, because I do have autism. It's crazy. And they're very quite colorful, their minds are very, very different. And I actually enjoy talking to them because they do have a different perspective on the world, whether you believe it or not. So, be kind to them, and be kind to everyone overall. But yeah, oops, sorry.
shown to follow typical social norms, nor does he really fit in. He creates shoes out of pillows and wristwatches made out of t-shirts.
If it's from Dill's mind, it's one of a kind. Shillos. Pillow shoes.
Another factor which makes some people believe that he's autistic is that Tommy is extremely protective over his younger brother. While a few people might feel that Tommy is just being a regular big brother to
Can we talk about how All Grown Up was before its time? I got the whole concept of it, but because all of our viewers are growing up, so why don't we have them grow up? But I feel like it was such a flop, and I feel it was, and I'm so upset at it because I love the concept of it. I really do. I loved All Grown Up when I was watching it as, you know, as a kid and stuff, but man, people just could not get behind it. It was so good.
His younger sibling, others feel that he's protecting him because he knows that his brother has autism. If this is true, some say it's a sad outcome for poor Dill, especially considering that there doesn't seem to be any sort of assistance given to him to help him out.
Dill, are you awake?
A sad look at the Pickles family.
Oof.
Ever wondered why the Pickles parents seem to be struggling to take care of their kids? It does seem to be a bit odd when you look at it. After all, Stu, Tommy's dad, is an engineer who is shown to make some really amazing inventions. What's going on?
I programmed this baby with everything there is to know about being a mom.
Well, Taco Main from Reddit has an interesting twist on why the Pickles family isn't doing as well as they could be. It has to do with Stu's brother, Drew. Drew is obviously the more financially successful of the two brothers, although the source of his wealth is never overtly stated in the series. This is the catalyst for the theory.
Now, sweetheart, Daddy's got to put in a little overtime today.
Drew is probably a lawyer who oversees Stu's business relationships with his clients. Consequently, Drew stacks up a large percentage of his brother's profits, essentially getting the long end of the stick while Stu doesn't score so well.
He what?
Consequently, the two siblings have a rivalry and tension which is felt even by the children. This also explains why Angelica is so mean towards Tommy and Dill.
So true, man. I mean, family, oh my god. Believe it or not, a lot of people's trauma starts with the family, and it sucks. You know, people think, how could family... Yeah, no, family could be very, very, very traumatic. And so, my dad, to the best of his ability, tried to keep us out of family trauma and drama and trauma, but at the same time, when you grow up and to learn certain things about, you know, your family and stuff, that junk is kind of like, you know, that junk is not okay.
She recognizes that her father is committing a crime by robbing her uncle, so she doesn't treat her cousins well. Or her father's aggression towards his brother has rubbed off on her as well.
Let's get something straight.
Knowing that Angelica's father might be stealing from his brother is a pretty gloomy perspective, especially considering the ramifications it has on the way parents are seen in the series.
I know it was too good to be true.
Didi's parents might have survived the Holocaust. This theory comes from Reddit user Big Aki. Anybody?
Woo, child, man, they are touching on some crazy stuff on in this. This is good. Man, it's a little more darker. It's not as upbeat as the Squilliam one, but man, I hope y'all enjoying it.
You remember Boris and Minka, Didi's parents? They're Jewish parents who migrated either from Germany or Ukraine to the United States of America.
The accents.
These are my father's wine glasses.
Given that the show came out in 1991, we can assume that they came to the United States between the 1950s and the 1960s. Consequently, given the time frame, it is probable that they fled Europe in an effort to escape the dangers after World War II.
A dumb holiday. Angelica, Passover is the greatest holiday of the year.
Bearing in mind that they're Jewish, which was a central aspect of their character, specifically in the very memorable Passover episode. The period right around the time they might have left Europe was obviously not a very safe time for them. Given the show began in the early 90s, they definitely would have been alive during World War II, probably in their 20s. Therefore, they left for the States in search of a better, safer life. While they might not have necessarily been victims of violence, Didi's parents may have witnessed scenes that are simply unimaginable. But what do you think? The Rugrats was a great part of many of our childhoods, but like many cartoons, there are traces of darkness sprinkled in. Do you buy into any of these dark theories, or do you have any dark theories of your own? Let us know in the comments section.
Alright, y'all. I really hope you guys enjoyed this a little darker cartoon conspiracy. I know it wasn't as upbeat, but it was very much still a good one, and I really like these. I guess it just gives us an insight about how real life it's kind of tough, and especially growing up as kids. And so, You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of us can relate to the things that were said in this. So if it was triggering, I hope it's not, and I hope you're okay. Reach out to me if it was anything that was triggering or a bit much for this video. So just let me know. I'll put like a warning, a disclaimer, so people are aware that this might be a little much. However, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. We got another cartoon conspiracy coming up. We're going to make this a series. This is going to be a thing, y'all. So comment down below any other cartoon, anime, whatever you want me to watch. And as a cartoon conspiracy, and we will watch it together and, you know, get our minds blown, get educated, get sad, get happy, get glad, laugh, whatever it may be. So I hope you guys enjoying it. But before we depart ways, I need you to like, comment, share, subscribe, turn that bell so you know when I post, because I'm so happy to be back. It feels good to actually film. I feel accomplished. I hope you guys really do like this video as well. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and Yahweh willing, I will see you all in the next video. Shalom, I love you.